Now that you've set up your profile and arranged your homepage, it's time to find the books that you like to read. The first thing that you're going to want to do is create a saved filters. Saved filter is going to be one of the most important things that you do in Edelweiss. The Saved Filters tool can be found in the upper right hand of any page and looks like a little funnel. It is one of the most powerful tools on Edelweiss. By using saved filters, you can narrow the results you see on any given page to just those things that interest you. Click on the Saved Filters link and you will be directed to the Saved Filters screen where you can select existing filters as well as create new ones. To create a new filter, click Add New Filter to get the filter creation screen. You can add a filter that tells you which titles are forthcoming from specific publishers by just choosing one of the publishers and then naming the filter. Or you can choose specific subjects by clicking the down arrow next to Edelweiss Vendor like this, and then choosing from the available options. Let's say you like fiction. So I'm going to go to subject and I'm going to choose fiction. You'll notice the little down arrows next to each option. That will further let you refine that subject area. So if you like fiction, perhaps, but if you don't like all fiction, you can choose all fiction and you'll notice that the results are down to 224,000 from the 1.2 million books that are currently in Edelweiss. You can then click on the minus next to those titles that perhaps you're not necessarily interested in to remove those from your search just by clicking them like this. And you'll notice that my numbers keep going down. You can add additional attributes by adding perhaps a publication date. So now I'm going to look at publication date, and you can choose front list, which is generally the last 2 years of publication dates, backlist prior to the last 2 years, or perhaps starting from today and looking out 1 month. Now you'll notice that my results are down to 960. So rather than having to go through 1.2 million books to find what I'm looking for, Edelweiss is doing the work for me. You can add a customized time frame as well. Once you have it, what you can do is name it something and then go ahead and click Save. What Edelweiss will then do is go through all of the books that meet your criteria and display those books. There are also a number of genre filters that are available on Edelweiss that you can actually choose. You can use these saved filters to be able to go in and apply, for example, a saved filter to your digital review copy lane by clicking on the little cog here and going to My Saved Filters and clicking on Favorites. Now, instead of having to go through all of the new digital review copies that have been loaded on Edelweiss, you can just go to those specific ones that you have. One note of caution. You can see here that there is an ability to filter by Dewey. I would caution against that if you're looking for books looking for new books. The books that appear in Edelweiss appear often a year in advance, and they don't yet have the Library of Congress cataloging and publication data, which means that the metadata for Dewey number is not included on the book, which means if you're just looking for a book by Dewey, you're going to end up missing that title. If you try adding Dewey as well as a subject like this, for example, you're looking for social sciences, which would be the 300s, but then you also add Dewey so that you thought you're going to get the 300s. What it's going to do is it's going to and these two things together rather than oring them together. So you'll see I've got 2,259 titles that have a Dewey number of 300 and are social sciences. If I remove the Dewey filter, you notice that there's now 33,000 titles. So that's a reason that you're going to want to be careful with your using of your Dewey filters. For existing filters that you have set up, if you want to save those with other people within your library, you can certainly do that by going to your saved filters, in this case, this one, clicking on Edit Filter and ticking the box for shared. That way that you can go through and you can get those saved filters. Again, you can apply those saved filters in the various widgets on your homepage or in the various sections of Edelweiss. So if I wanted to go here, this is showing me all digital review copies in the last month. Currently, I have the genre filter As I told you, there are some preset genre filters that you can choose from, that you can just go and choose one of these, or you can go specifically to your saved filters to be able to find those books that you're going to want to read. So by applying that saved filter, only those books are going to be appearing. You can apply that as well in the Buzz section to find books that are honor books by just coming in here and applying your saved filter. And then again, you're only going to see those books that have gotten an honor that meet your criteria. Rather than using saved filters, or in addition to using saved filters, if you're in the honors section, as I am here, and again, a reminder that honors are those books that have received some kind of recognition by the book community, either a starred review in the library literature, or an award like Caldecott, Indie Next, Pulitzer, etc. So you can basically set the time period for that here. You can then go through, so rather than apply a saved filter, what I can do is refine it. So you'll see all the refinement options are here. So I can actually go in and perhaps choose more than one category instead of just using one saved filter. So if I'm responsible for multiple categories, I can go in here and tick the boxes next to the categories that I'm interested in. In this case, fiction, the number in parentheses relates to the number of titles that are available in that particular area. And maybe I'm also looking for gardening books because I do both of those sections there. Then it's going to show you just those two refinements. To remove your refinements, you can add more than one refinement. You can just click on the minus and that will take it out. If you have a large list of titles, for example, if you want to search, the biggest search you can do is here. You can expand this to add to your search. So for example, if you're looking for books on something specific like Michigan, my home state, you're going to get a large collection of books here. Once you have the books listed, this is the search throughout all of the Edelweiss. You can then search within the list that you've created by creating a secondary search here. So I can actually look at football, and under Michigan, these are the books in that list that relate to football. So it makes this very easy to be able to go in and find within the section what you're looking for. You can also sort the results that you get by various things. If you're an analytics subscriber to Basecamp or Summit, you will have the option for sold percent, on hand, or on order. All the rest will have just these. So if you wanted to have your list ordered by publication date, you can do that publication date. You can change the direction, so from most to least or least to most, by clicking on this arrow to be able to get what you're looking for. Finally, what I'm going to show you is there are various display options that you can use. So this one gives you, I think, is the most useful because it gives you one title per lane and really lets you see the most information that's here. However, you can do so that there's two things. So you're looking at two columns, two books at a time. As you can see, not quite as much information as far as the honors is concerned. You can also look at this view, which is just the title and the information. I find this to be the least prettiest view. If you are a subscriber to Summit, you will also be able to click on this and get an analytics view. So for whatever you are displaying, it will actually analyze your collection and show you those titles that you own that meet that criteria that you've searched for. In this case, my books on Michigan. 190 titles are owned of the search that I did, and it will give you the information that you can see for each individual title. The other thing that you can do if you're looking at a book, if you wanted to see more information, is that you can click on this multi-directional arrow here, and it will pull up more information. You can see the summary of the book. You can see any biographical information about the author. If you are a Summit or a Basecamp subscriber, you will see your ILS data. You can also, again, if you're a Summit or Analytics subscriber, see the sales or public library information. And at last, the wholesaler information. We only get information currently from Ingram. So if you want more information from Baker & Taylor, you would have to check your Baker & Taylor ordering system. So a lot of great information to be able to see. In addition to quotes and reviews that the publisher might be putting up, you can see that information there. The other thing that you will be able to see, which is really useful, especially for my children's librarians, is for each title display, they will show you sample images from the book. So you obviously can't evaluate a children's picture book unless you actually see the pictures in the book. So you can go through this and click on these to see the quality of the illustrations that you're going to be able to see. You will also be able to see the information as far as comparable titles the publisher might have included. Again, if you're analytics subscriber, you'll see this information here, but anyone can see comparable titles and whether there are other whether there are other ISBNs. And that completes this lesson.